So this was a structure, weekly structure for quiz 7. You can mention the doubts if you have. Question number 1, A1, 2, 3, 4. B1, 2, any doubt? One A3 and B2. Explain why CaF2 has a high boiling point. What kind of compound this CaF2? Calcium fluoride. So because it will be an ionic compound, because a metal with a non-metal, an ionic compound, they have a strong electrostatic force between the oppositely charged ions. That's why we expect this to have a high melting point. So that's a reason. Next is B2. When a chlorine is passed over a hot iron 3 chloride is formed. However, iodine is passed over a hot iron, the following reaction takes place. Fe plus I2 gives FeI2. Sid, what you would observe during a reaction between iron and I2, explain why FeI2 solid is formed rather than I3. So first thing, you have to mention the observation. So what is the observation here? Because we know the appearance of iodine. What is the appearance of iodine vapor? It's written iodine gas. So what is the appearance of iodine vapor? Iodine vapors are purple vapors. So, no, not brown solid disappear. Iodine is iodine. When it dissolves in water, it is brown. But this is the iodine vapor, iodine gas. So appearance of the iodine gas is purple. So as a result, what will happen? Iodine is purple and it is forming a solid iron to iodide. So a solid is formed. So what we'll observe? We'll observe that the purple vapor disappear. That is one observation. And the second thing is why it does not form FeI3, why FeI2. This is related because what will happen in this reaction, as you can see, iron is 0, then it will become +2. And iodine is 0, it will become -1. Each is -1, 2 will be -2. So iron is being oxidized and iodine is being reduced. But when it was the same reaction was happening with the chlorine, it was forming FeCl3. So it was 0 here and it is forming +3. So what this given evidence, this given idea that chlorine is a good oxidizing agent as compared to that of iodine. The oxidation power, oxidizing agent itself, it is reduced by gain of electron. So why in this compound we have iron 2, but here we have iron 3? This given evidence that chlorine is good oxidizing agent as compared to that of iodine. Or iodine is not strong oxidizing agent compared to that of chlorine. Is it clear? Next, any doubt? Part C, B, C. Any other question in this? C for 1, 2, 3, 4. Part D. Then we have D1 and 2 for question 1. Question 2. State the structure and the bonding of sodium fluoride. Page 3, part 4. Page 3. Compound iodide are often contaminated by bromide ion. Identify any further reagent that could show that the precipitate form is iodide ion. How to test, how to distinguish between iodide ion and the bromide ion or the precipitate which are formed? So what we normally do, we use aqueous ammonia for that. Because if we use concentrated aqueous ammonia, the bromide precipitate will dissolve, but iodide does not dissolve. Remember, recall that table. The test for the bromide, iodide, or chloride ion, we add silver nitrate. So it will form, if it is a chloride, white precipitate, bromide, cream precipitate, iodide, yellow precipitate. What is the confirmation test? If we add a dilute aqueous ammonia, chloride precipitate will dissolve, but bromide and iodide does not dissolve. But we add concentrated aqueous ammonia, the bromide precipitate will also dissolve, but iodide will not. So add aqueous concentrated aqueous ammonia. As a result, the bromide precipitate will dissolve, but not the iodide. Next is C4. Pure hydrogen fluoride is a colorless liquid at 273 Kelvin, and a liquid contain HF molecule that has strong hydrogen bond. Suggest how the hydrogen bond can be formed between the two molecules. So hydrogen bond, you have to draw, like, the bond angle of a hydrogen should be 180 degrees. And it is actually the attraction between the lone pair of the fluorine and the hydrogen. So the bond between hydrogen and fluorine is more electronegative than hydrogen, partial positive and negative. These are the lone pairs. And there's another hydrogen fluoride, partial negative, partial positive, and the lone pair. So this lone pair is attracted to or hydrogen attracted towards the lone pair. And what we call that as a hydrogen bond. Next is page 6, part 2. Use your answer, determine the molecular formula of D. If you are unable to calculate, assume that relative molecular mass is 130. And that is not a correct value. It's just in case if you're not, it's related to this one. Like using a journal gas equation, calculate the relative molecular mass. So interhalogen compound, which are BrCl and IF3, contain two or more different halogen atoms. They are covalently bonded. And D is also interhalogen compound that contain only chlorine and fluorine. MR was 92.5. Okay, so this was 92.5. So we'll use this value and work out the molecular mass. Like here is the molecular mass we have, which is 92.5. Now, as I mentioned here, D is a interhalogen compound, means halogens are present in this compound only. It contains halogens, as you can see, bromine, chlorine, IF5. So we need 92.5, the molar mass. So how we can have a 92.5? How we can have 92.5? So it means, because if you remember, one of them, chlorine is there, which is 35.5. So that is the average mass of the two isotopes of the chlorine, that is 35.5. So this given evidence, this given idea that it contain and they already mentioned it contain chlorine. They already specify that D contain chlorine and fluorine. But how many chlorine are there? So if it is 30, like 92.5, so it means it should be odd number of a chlorine, because if it was an even number, like if two chlorine were there, then I will get 71. But we got this 0.5, so this give an idea that there should be odd number of a chlorine, like it might be 1 chlorine, 3 chlorine, 5 chlorine, then only we get 0.5. But it cannot have 3 chlorine because 35.5 multiplied by 3, so it will be 100, more than 92.5. So it means there is 1 chlorine present here. So if 1 chlorine is present, how many fluorine should be there? The mass of a fluorine is 19. So if I have, like example, 19 multiplied by 2, so this will be 35. Means this will be 35 and this will be 19 times 2, 38 plus 35. That will not make 92.5. But if I have 3 fluorine, so 19 multiplied by 3, So that is 57 and 57 plus this. So it will give 92. So this give an idea that it should be fluorine, like 3 fluorine should be there and 1 chlorine. So the result will be 92.5. The total mass. So basically it's no calculation. Yeah, you have to get, I can also use the idea like I can also make a mathematical equation, but no need. It's of only 1 mark. It's just you have to use the idea that it should